get a Bible dictionary and turn to I'm tell you what I want to. You're gonna turn look up turn to Bible. Look where it says Bible.
Right.
And then where it says Bible, if you're in that section, then you turn to where it says King James Version.
Right. Kind of good.
All right, go ahead.
Right. King James Version. This is on the Van Bible Dictionary. When Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown passed to James I, who had been King of Scotland for 37 years, as James VI. Several months after he ascended the throne of England, he authorized a new translation of the Bible to replace the bishop's Bible.
Mm-hmm.
47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided into 6 groups.
Right.
Right? 3 for the Old Testament,
Uh-huh.
2 for the New, and 1 for the Apocrypha.
Right.
2 of the groups met at Oxford, 2 at Cambridge, and 2 at Westminster.
Right. With Oxford, Cambridge, and Westminster. All right.
Right. When a group had completed its task, its work was submitted to 12 men, 2 from each penal. Right.
Right.
Right. Final differences of opinion.
2 from each panel.
Yeah.
Right.
2 from each panel. Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Final differences of opinion were settled at a general meeting of each company. Right. In case of special difficulty, learned men outside the board of revisers were consulted. Marginal notes were used only to explain Hebrew and Greek words, to draw attention to parallel passages. Italics were used for words not found in the original but necessary to complete the sense. Right?
Right. So italics were used for words not found in the original but necessary to complete the sense. And that's you know this from in the Apocrypha. If you get the Apocrypha, go to Wisdom of Solomon. Keep your Bible dictionary though, right?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 1. Right. Love righteousness, ye that be judged of the earth.
Before chapter 1, where it says I think it's epilogue or prologue. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon. Might be Ecclesiasticus. No, Ecclesiasticus. My fault, brother. Go to Ecclesiasticus before chapter 1.
Right. Come before chapter 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Ecclesiasticus. This Jesus, the son of Sirach, and grandchild of Jesus of the same name with him. This man therefore lived in the latter times, after the people had been led away captive, and called home again, and almost after all the prophets.
All right.
Now his
It's giving you a background on the author of it. All right, who is Sirach? All right, or Sirach. All right. Skip to the second. Hold on. Next column that begins, whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by law. All right. If you go down, further down in that paragraph, just before the end, where it says, wherefore, let me entreat you to read.
Right. Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words.
All right, read it again from the top.
Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention.
Right, he's saying, let me entreat you, meaning, wherefore now let me encourage you to read this with favor and with attention, meaning you read this not like you're reading you know, the American Constitution, right? Or you know, the history of Bill Gates. You know what I mean? Like, you read it with favor and with attention, meaning focusing and pay attention to what you're about to read. All right, go ahead.
And to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words.
Right, and to excuse us where we may seem to come short of some words, meaning there's some words in the translation that when translated, it's not quite the same meaning. You understand? It's not quite the same meaning. It's like thou shalt not, when you read that, thou shalt not kill. What does that mean?
Thou shalt not murder.
That's what it means. Thou shalt not murder, but it says thou shalt not kill. The point. So it's a difference in the translation. Even the word virgin is one. A few other words and few other how it's phrased is different in the Hebrew. The Hebrew is a very forceful language. It's a very blunt language, like how black people talk. Right? So read again and forgive us, excuse us, or whatever it's in.
Right. And to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret.
Right.
For the same.
And to pardon us because we have come short of some words where we have labored to interpret. Right. Meaning we labored, we go through all the text and the scrolls to try to change these words over. All right, go ahead.
For the same thing.
Another example of that is in Revelations, the mark. This is the mark of the beast. A mark in your forehead and your right hand. The Greek for that word is charagma. The Greek for that word mark is charagma. All right, and of course they translating it from the Greek, which is written in, but it's Greek because it's spoke by the Hebrews, right? And it's translated, but it does not mean what charagma means. It's just that's the word, that's the best word to use for it. You get the point?
Right.
But it doesn't mean a cutting in the flesh. Right. It doesn't mean that. Just like dragon. A dragon doesn't mean that thing on Game of Thrones. Right? When you look up in the Hebrew, a dragon is any huge serpent or any huge beast, whether in the and I believe also in the sky. Right? But the word it's like a big monster. That's what it's really saying.
Right.
You understand? That's what it's really saying. It's like this is a big monster, and that's what it's saying. You get my point?
Right.
1 second now. Trying to get this brother in here. I'm not sure if he can get in. All right. Right, keep going.
Right. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them.
Right,
And
for the
not only
same things that's uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue, they do not have the same force in them. You understand?
right.
What does that mean?
Well, they don't have the same meaning or definition. If we should.
Yeah, they don't. It's just thou shalt not kill versus thou shalt not murder.
Right.
You understand? It don't have the same
Right.
force. It doesn't come across the same way. You get the point? It doesn't come across the same way.
Right.
It don't come across the same way. It's just the spirit of the language is way different. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So I guess, so in other words, in order to understand, you have to know Hebrew and Greek.
To get the
You have
full
to know it.
understanding, number one, you had to come to the Israelite school of UPK and get everything broken down. Right? That's the first thing. Number two, you're gonna have to have a sense of the Hebrew first. Not necessarily the Greek, but the Hebrew first, because the Bible is the same spirit beginning to end. So if you understand what was going on even in the Old Testament, which is coming from the Hebrew, even though the New Testament is written in Greek, it's just in a different language. You get the point? So you will still understand what we're talking about. That's how we know when the Lord said in Ezekiel, when he told the angel, mark them, go on the city and mark, go into the cities and mark them who sigh and cry for Israel. Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on 1 second. Brother, you there?
Shalom, Captain Mashak.
Hey, shalom. Okay, Dan, I'm trying to get you onto the main one, and I don't know how the hell to do that. 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. All right, 1 second, Galawan, how you getting on? Okay, and he can't get on. Galawan, what do you normally do to get in here?
Well, I use my WhatsApp. I click on the link. It goes say press the video call. When I press the video call, it will have a little small box. I had to click on that small box first, and then it will have a proceed button. Just press proceed and in class. So
I think I know how to do it. Hey, all right, I'm gonna send you another invite. All right. I think I see it now. I think I see exactly. Hold on. Goddamn technology, but. All right, let me try that and see. I think that might be it, what I just did there for him.
Come on. It's like he got the link on WhatsApp.
Okay, no, this brother sent me link through Facebook, but I think I sent the wrong link. So I'm trying them again, and I see where to add people on this thing here now. So hopefully he do it. All right, hopefully he do it and he get on. All right, anyhow, let's go.
All right, I'm in.
All right, Most High in Christ, to water. All right, now I'll figure this thing out. All right, yeah, go ahead on, Galawan.
All right, come on. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them.
All right.
And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small differences.
All right, they don't have no small difference, but just those things that they labored for, some of those words, they don't come across with the same force. You understand? They don't come up with the same, they don't come with the same force. And you know from being in the Hebrew class that the language itself is built different. It's a different type of language other than, you know, how the English is. It's, you know, it's not the same spirit in it at all. You understand? It's not the same spirit in it at all. So now, so that's lining up with what we see here in the Bible dictionary concerning the King James Version, right?
Right.
Now, go back to the Bible dictionary and go back to page 82.
Page 82, right. Right. Page 82. Read from languages from page 82.
No, text. Where it says text, number 4. You have the full Bible dictionary or the
the small one. I don't have that.
Yeah, that's fine. It should be right there on page 82. It says text number 4.
Right. Come on. Although the Bible was written over a period of approximately 1,400 years from the time of Moses to the end of the 1st century AD, its text has come to us in a remarkable state of preservation.
Right? Although the Bible was written over a 1,400-year period, the text it was preserved in a remarkable way. And this is because after the fall of Jerusalem in the 70 AD destruction, a lot of the brothers who was rolling with Christ, rolling with the disciples, the records were kept and they were passed down all the way up to that time with Constantine, where they were hiding in the catacombs, hiding in caves and graveyards, different places. And these men, I think they were called the Essenes. I'll double check that for you. I think they were called the Essenes. Those scrolls in jars and different vases, and they would move with them because this is the record. Remember, when the Greeks come and they destroy everything. That's how the white man destroys a society, or he destroys a nation. All right, it's the same thing he did in the Maccabees' time. If you go to the Apocrypha in First Maccabees, they tell you where they would burn the book of the law. And anybody who they found reading the book, they would, I think, burn their eyes out or cut the tongue out. Like, they would burn the records of the law because they didn't want nobody reading the law, and that's what the white man does. He even did it to the Native Indians. You understand? Like, it's like you had to definitely think outside the box. Like this, the native Indians live here for thousands of years before the white man even got here, at least 1,000 years before the white man got here. And of course, they're going to have records of stuff. Of course, they're going to have a running government. Of course, they're going to have a way in which they do things. Until this day, you could hardly find anything but the word of mouth passed down through the generations that made it through their Holocaust. And whatever little artifacts the museum decides to hold. But by and large, their way of life was destroyed, because if you destroy their way of life and then you take the younger generation and raise them up, they will never know that old way. They will never know that old history of doing things. You understand? So that's how the white man does what he does. So of course we had to preserve our records. We had to preserve everything about us, because he would have wiped it off the face of the earth and there would never be anything else. That's how the white man is. All right? You'll be able to see the internet starting to give a little trouble. I have a solution, don't worry. All right, so read it again from the top up.
Can. Although the Bible was written over a period of approximately 1,400 years, from the time of Moses to the end of the 1st century AD, its text has come to us in a remarkable state of preservation.
Right, go ahead.
It is, of course, not identical with the text that left the hands of the original,
right?
The original writers.
Right. It's not identical with what was originally there by the original writers, which is understandable. Go ahead, because of course this text that is there is something that was copied over and over and over. You get the point? Remember, there ain't no Xerox machine back then. There ain't no print and press. Any copies of the book is what was written. Right? That's why I had a scribe. That's why scribing was a profession, because you need someone who is meticulous and who takes time to get things done. You understand? Who takes time to get everything done. So he's saying here, like, it's not in that pristine condition as what was originally written. Right? In rewriting, they probably make some, grammatical errors. You get the point?
All right.
Go ahead.
Scribal errors have necessarily crept in until the invention of printing in the middle of the 15th century. All copies of the scriptures were made by hand. There were evidence that...
Right, so you see where they say all copies were made by hand, right?
Yeah,
go ahead.
There is evidence that the ancient Jewish scribes copied the books of the Old Testament with extreme care.
Right, so you could see there's evidence that the scribes, they took extreme care in copying these things. You could see that, right, from men who study copies and study I forget what it's called, with writings. They study old writings and able to study writings from ancient civilizations, right? They were able to see that, okay, this person took very much care in rewriting this. All right, go ahead.
The recently discovered Dead Sea Scrolls, some going as far back as the 2nd and 3rd centuries BC, contain either whole books or fragments of all but one, which is the Esther of the Old Testament books. And they bear witness to a text remarkably in the Hebrew text left by the Masoretes. Right? The Greek translation of the Old Testament, the Septuagint, began about 250 BC and completed about 100 years later. Although it differs in places from the Hebrew text current today, is also the valuable witness to the accuracy of the Old Testament text.
Right? So that's the it's right there how close the translation is to what we have today. You understand? Like the Dead Sea Scrolls is the original Hebrew of majority of the books of the Bible, fragments of some, and missing Esther out of the Old Testament. All right. So that's the it's not saying, and this is what a lot of people this is what a lot of people get confused by, especially listening to people who are uneducated on the topic. People in the world, they think that, okay, if the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is the oldest record of the Hebrew, of the Bible in Hebrew, found in the Qumran caves in the 1940s, how could King James translate or issue a Bible in 1600s? Then that means the Bible ain't true and they drop everything. You understand? When there's no record or no statement ever made on the earth that says King James translated, the King James translation came from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like nobody ever said that. You understand?
Right.
Like that's somebody who makes that statement is someone who is reaching far to try to discredit the Bible. You get the point?
Right.
It's someone who's reaching very, very far, stretching, trying to discredit the Bible. No one ever said the King James Version was translated from the Dead Sea Scrolls. The King James Version is the King James Version. We read it before, how it took, 60 scholars or 67 scholars, and they broke them up into 3 groups. Right? This was in, this began in 1603 or 15 something. I think it's 1603 because it took them something like 7 or 8 years to do the full translation. 1603, right?
47 scholars.
Right, 47 scholars, they broke them up into 3 groups, right? And they began in 1603. I think they finished somewhere like in 1609 or 1610. And of course, the official book came out in 1611, right? It's not saying that the Dead Sea Scrolls is what was used to translate the King James. What it's saying is that the Dead Sea Scrolls give the King James Version validity, more validity, I should say, because it matches up in the translation to the King James, which is which always has been touted as the most accurate translation from the Hebrew and the Greek. Now, if you come now in modern time, in the 20th century, and you find an ancient record of the Hebrew, of the Bible, and then in translating it, it matches up with the King James, then that only lends validity to the King James. You get the point? But of course, people in the world who try to discredit the Bible, this is the type of person that does that. Israel is Isis, Ra, and El. See, brother? They get Israel from Egypt. Or television is tell-lie-vision. That's the type of people who would say, if these Dead Sea Scrolls was found in the 1940s, then how could King James have a translation in 1611? See, they're lying to you. When one is not dependent on the other. You understand? It's like me saying, well, how I could describe it? It's like if I write a history, I don't know if you know the history of Jamaica. If Jamaica had a port, what's the name of the damn port? It was a port or almost like a peninsula coming out from one of the sections. I forget exactly. I don't know if it's by port more or what. But they had a very rich port, right? And the ships used to come in there and dock in and bring a ton of gold. And that section was you know, where they had all the heavy spending, the gold, the debauchery, the hoes, the wine drinking, right? Port Royal, right? Port Royal, right? In 1692, Jamaica had an earthquake and Port Royal sank into the ocean, all right? Hold on. See if I can pull up, right? I don't know if you ever heard of that before. You ever heard of it before, Ak?
Never.
Never heard of that story?
Nah.
Right? They had a huge earthquake, brother, and this entire junk fell into the ocean. See if I could pull up some more over here. One second, all right? Bear with me. Right? Of course, what I'm showing you is more or less artist depiction of it. All right? Bear with me 1 second. All right. See the screen here?
Can.
All right. This is an artist depiction of it. All right. And this whole section here, see all the ships coming in? Right? This whole section here was very wealthy, very, very wealthy for all the gold and, of course, the rum coming out of the area. And in 1692, they had an earthquake, brother, and that whole thing fell into the ocean. All right, fell into the ocean. This is another image of it here, where it says before and after. Where before, all the way out to here, was the shoreline, right? And after the earthquake, this is where the shoreline is. And I believe right now, this area is protected. I don't think they let anybody go dive there, because of course there's a ton of gold and sunken stuff down there. Some more, this is more pictures of you know, sunken parts of it. All right, it's the whole land mass fell into the ocean, right? And of course the story is the Lord's, it was the Lord's judgment because of all the wealth that was, not the wealth, but with the wealth, all the sin that was going on that part. And of course, the story is that the Lord definitely, of course, you know, the Lord holds everything, but the Lord, you know, judgment came on that spot. And the whole thing is beneath the ocean right now. You understand?
Oh, God.
So now it's like me saying, if I were to write this story, right? Write the history of this place. Right? I write the history of it. You've never heard of this before. And I didn't have these pictures to show you. I would just, tell you about it, right? All I could do is tell you, yeah, man, there's this place called Port Royal. And, you know, it fell into the ocean. And, you know, it was really rich and the Lord, you know, dropped the whole land into the ocean, right? The only thing you have to believe, the only evidence you have that you can hold on to and believe is what I say or what I write down. And then now, come years later, you come and you find some artifact from that time period. That artifact now gives credence to my record. You understand? That piece of archaeology you pull out of the ocean, that now gives credence to what I testified to or what I witnessed or what I said, which is my record. So now, all King James did was took a record that was already established, translated it into a language everyone could understand. And that is what was kept. And in the 1940s, this was standard and this was common history and accepted commonly because it was the truth. But of course, over time and government dispersing and this was the time government and church was together. In war, if you're going to fight the government, you're going to have to fight the church. So now to discredit the government, you start discrediting the Bible, start discrediting this, that, the other. So now in the 1940s, you come and get the call it the Dead Sea Scrolls coming out of the Qumran caves. They look at it and realize this is ancient Paleo-Hebrew or Aramaic, which is what the white man thinks ancient Hebrew is, because he thinks it comes from Aram. He attributes that language to Aram, when the Hebrew comes from Iba or Ibaria, which means of old. And now they realize this is the records of the Bible. So now looking at the translation, the King James is the closest translation to the ancient Hebrew text. And the Dead Sea Scrolls is the oldest record of the Hebrew text we have in existence today, bar those the writings on the wall from the native Indians, like the Back Creek Stone. There's another cave where they found a whole ton of writings, records of languages that was of sayings that was spoken to explorers when they interacted with the native Indians. Those other things give credence to the Bible. You get the point? So that's the Dead Sea Scrolls. And that's the relation it has to the King James. Not that the King James was translated from it, but it gives the King James increased validity in today's society, which is just ridiculous because the King James Version has already been valid. It's just in today's society, it has to be discredited, or else, you know, the Lord's word would stand. You understand? The Lord's word would stand. Also, give me Revelation. If anybody have questions, you know, just type your questions in. Give me Revelations 12 and 16.
Come on. Revelation chapter 12, verse 16. And the earth held the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Right? You understand what I mean? No? Read it one more time.
No, and the earth held the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
You get it yet?
The earth meaning the people, the heathens meaning, and the woman meaning the children of Israel.
The woman is the children of Israel.
And the earth means the heathens.
Anybody else? Anybody else want to take a stab at it? Or the other brother, Roderick? You could unmute your mic if you want to jump in, and I can say if you want to.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I don't follow.
No sweat, no sweat. Anybody want to try it? Anybody else? All right, read it one more time, Galawan.
Come on. And the earth held the woman, And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
All right. Let's start from the end. All right. Who is the dragon?
The white man.
The white man. That's correct. Galawan, you follow it? Everybody follow that?
Yeah, come on.
The white man is the dragon, right? What is the flood?
The flood meaning the people
No.
or the
Where
or the
what does it say about the flood?
Earth opened. It was swallowed up.
so the dragon cast the flood out of his mouth. So
okay. So now the dragon is the white man, and there's something coming out his mouth.
The words that
like destruction.
One at a time, one at a time. Next time, Shay, just say Salakia in the future, all right? Or Salakia, Roger. Just say Salakia in the future, so that the brother know you want to say something, all right? Same thing with you. Same thing with you, all right, Galawan. Once the room start getting a little bit more full, you know what I mean?
Come.
All right, go ahead up.
All right, so like destruction, like the flood, the destruction, all the disasters, the bombs, the
Roger, can you try?
like swallowed up the flood of the words that the white man was saying.
Okay, what is the flood?
The words that he speaks.
And what is the words that he speak?
Destruction.
You was on it. You was on it. You was on it. Somebody in the live chat, who's this? Shawapa said is the philosophy of the white man, his religions. That's more on it. All right. The flood is the white man's lies. You understand?
Kind of.
Right. The flood is the white man's lies. Roderick, your headpiece, does it have a hole in the top?
No, sir.
Okay, you might want to uncover your head. You see like how mine have a hole in the top here? All your headpiece should have it like that. Galawan has his own, but his one is cut further back, so you ain't seeing it really. So it's looking like his scarf is complete. But once you're in class, as a brother, you uncover your head, or the crown of your head is uncovered. For a sister, she covers her head, all right? You got it?
Kind.
All right, so you could go in and uncover your head. Don't worry about it for now. You'll get the proper scarf in time, but just go ahead and uncover your head, all right, brother?
Kind.
All right, no sweat. So the flood is the white man's his lies. So now, Galawan, how is, with your question, how is this tying into? No, let's finish it off. So we know the dragon is the white man. The flood is his lies, and it comes out his mouth. So it's what he's been teaching and saying for years. So now read it again from the top, Galawan.
Can. And the earth held the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
All right. So the earth helped the woman. The earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. The earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood. The flood is the white man's lies. So the earth opened her mouth and swallowed the white man's lies. So what is the earth?
The earth is Yahweh.
Anybody else want to try? Roderick?
No, sir.
I'm gonna give you a hint. Shawapa is not the nations. I'm gonna give you a hint. It has to do with your question, Galawan. It has to do with the question you just asked. What's the question you just asked, Galawan?
The one with Yahushai, if it is Yahushai.
No. Okay. What's the topic we was just breaking down from the beginning of the class? That was your question.
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay, where was the Dead Sea Scrolls? Okay, explain to me the whole thing with the Dead Sea Scrolls.
It was found in the caves.
And
it is just Hebrew text that they found. You know, it that gives the King James version more validity because it.
So now, before that, what was people saying about the King James Version? What was the white man saying about the King James Version?
He was saying it is not true. It is not accurate. Like I was saying, you know, it's a false book. He was saying it.
Which was a lie.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
It was a lie. And why does the Bible describe his lie as a flood?
Salakia, if I may, because it floods the earth with what he's saying.
Because it goes all over the earth just like a flood. Because it's the white man that says it. You understand? Because it's the white man that says it, it goes all over the earth. And of course, he is the dragon. So if he pushing it and you not accepting it, what will he do as the dragon?
He will kill you.
Exactly.
As a dragon.
So it's going to go. You could do this the easy way or you could do it the hard way. But you is going to teach Christianity in the earth. You understand? You see, Farrakhan done start teaching Christianity now. You understand? Farrakhan done, he basically singing, I know my Redeemer lives, like the old Christian song. You get the point? Like, if it is you not pushing his Christianity, you're done. Like a flood, he spreads it far and wide, right? And now the earth, think about the vision. The vision is, when I say the vision like a visual. You see in this dragon, and he opened his mouth, and it's like something coming out his mouth like a flood, and it's spreading all over the world, all over the earth, and then the earth open up and swallow up the flood. You understand? What happens now? Just like Galawan, you know about flooding. You in Trinidad, you know all the flooding. The brothers down Texas, we've seen flooding all over the news. Brothers in New Orleans experienced flooding some years ago. Right? After a flood goes away, what do you see on the ground?
Salakia, debris.
All right, what else?
Water.
Well, the water is gone. It doesn't drain away.
Right.
Well, Salakia, you see, plenty of these like destruction, plenty of damages. People,
you see
cars being damaged, buildings smash up.
That's it. What you see after the flood is gone, you see what's beneath the flood. You see the lie. You see what the truth is once the lies have gone away. You understand? The flood is the lie. The flood is like that water on top. All right? You ever drive on the street on a rainy day and you see a pool of water? And you little simple. It happened to me a ton of times. You little simple, you just drive through the pool of water and then you hear bang and your whole left ball joint gonna rip out from under the car because you didn't see what was under the water. What was under the water?
Salakia, a hole.
A hole. You understand? You thinking it's just a little bit of water. You drive through it and it's a hole under there. So now that water was lying to you. That flood is lying to you. The earth opened up and swallowed the lies. So now you could drive and see, hey, there's a hole there. Hey, there's not a hole over there. Let me go this way. That don't look too right. Let me go that way. But when the water is there, you're not seeing nothing. The only thing you could see is what?
The water.
Water. Without the help of the earth and the priest and prophets of the Lord at Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K, the only thing you would see is Christianity. The only thing you would see is kumbaya, come together, integration. The only thing you would see is like Farrakhan says, now he knows his Redeemer lives, his Lord and Savior. He ain't talking nothing about Surah no more. He just quoting from the Bible. All you see is Christianity. So now, before the flood, this King James Bible, how you know King James write that book? King James is a white man, which is another lie. I told Galawan we will go into that Tuesday. I'm going to get the whole thing and break it all the way down for you. It's a fairy tale. Shakespeare wrote the Bible. His name is in the book of Psalms, which is another lie. And Shakespeare's a black man. The brothers in UK went to Shakespeare Theater and his cemetery and saw the pictures, saw the statue that his wife had. Not the statue, it's a painting. It's a statue thing that his wife had made of him while he was alive. And over the years, they painted it white. They lightened it up, lightened the complexion on the statue. All right? Before that, all these lies were spreading through the earth. The earth opened up, bam, the Qumran caves. Find this, the Dead Sea Scrolls, which gives the Bible validity. You get the point? Right? Since 1969, what has the Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K been teaching about the Israelites?
So like, they've been teaching that the Israelites is not Africans. The Israelites are God's chosen people, which is the Negroes.
Who
the
are
Hispanics and the Native? The Negroes, the Hispanics, and the Native Indians.
All right. And what do people say when we tell them the Native Indians are Israelites?
They don't believe. They'll be like, no.
What do they say?
Salakia, maybe that they can't be because they weren't from Israel.
That they can't be the Israelites. They can't be the Israelites because they are not from Israel. All right? I don't know if you were in class last week or the week before, maybe the week before. But I don't know if you remember, we had a video. See if I could find it. We had a video here, right? 1 second. The new one again. All right. right. Blood. We had this video last week. You remember this, Galawan?
Can.
All right, let's watch it.
Glenn Beck.
Right, so this is a tape of Glenn Beck proving or showing you the proof he discovered that the Native Indians are Hebrew Israelites according to, you know, the historical facts. And of course, the Israelite School of UPK, we've been teaching this to our people. All right.
David Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box. It was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here. At first, they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew.
Right? They thought in 1860 it was some sort of Hebrew. They didn't even know for sure because, of course, they think the chicken scratch that the Jewish man uses and speaks Yiddish is real Hebrew, when that's not the real Hebrew.
Well, finally, about 20 years later,
the text of that Hebrew is called Assyrian Hebrew. The pronunciation, the language itself is really Yiddish. It's a mixture of German and Polish.
found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew.
They call it a block Hebrew, and that's the ancient Hebrew that Abraham and Moses and them used. You understand? That's what they used to speak, right? And they found this in Ohio.
A block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the 10 Commandments.
In Ohio.
Yeah.
How the hell it get across from the Middle East to Ohio? White man didn't bring that over, the Native Indians did.
This is another piece. Block Hebrew, they said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss the findings. They found it in Israel and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek stone.
Right, the Bat
It
Creek
was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since it came from Cherokee.
Right, they first thought this was the Cherokee language. And the Smithsonian had this stone there, and they couldn't read it, so they had stuffed it away. And you hear what he said. They found the stone in a Smithsonian.
They thought it was Cherokee. The meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since evacuation during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation.
Official Smithsonian evacuation, meaning this stone was part of their collection or part of their storage. And while evacuating the area, they took it out, right? So they couldn't read it. Of course, like the white man always do, once he don't understand something, he hypothesize about it and teach you that it's true when he just too dumb to figure it out. And they read it, they thought it was Cherokee.
The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
They had published this originally upside down.
They had the damn thing upside down. Meanwhile, the Israelite School of UPK, 1 West Harlem, New York, 1969, been teaching the original Hebrew. We could have read that thing for you, could have saved millions of dollars. Can I give us the goddamn money? Fools in the Smithsonian don't know what the hell they're talking about. Listen, and he still have, he's showing you how they were reading it. Hebrew is written, what? Right to left. This is A, this is Ta, this is Ha, this is Ya right here. I can't really recognize these two. I think this is, the first one here is Kwa, I believe. And because of the light, how the video is. As the video play, you'll see the other languages. But this stone's supposed to be the other way around.
They threw it in a box at the bottom of the Smithsonian, put it in the basement. Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and oh my gosh, it's upside down.
Oh my gosh, it's upside down. Dummy. And if you had come to all these boots, these braid-wearing Negroes with gold teeth and gold chain and the shades who you hate, wearing the shield of David around the neck, we could have read the damn things for you. It's
Phoenician. Ancient Hebrew.
Ancient Hebrew, which is what we teach every Friday night. Six Shield General Kobala Math teaches the truth.
So what's going on here? What is that about?
What is that about? What's going on here? What's that about? The Native Indians are the 12 tribes of Israel. The Hispanics, the people in Brazil, Central and South America, we the 12 tribes of Israel that came to land Arsareth, which no man knew, and dwelt there until the latter time, as it says in 2nd Ezra, chapter 13. That's who we are. These are the Gentiles who the Lord said to go to, not the Africans and your brothers. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. All right. So with that, we'll continue next week with the class. Sure. All right. So you'll remember that, right? That was the video from a couple of weeks ago. Now, where was that stone found, Galawan?
Ohio.
But where he said this was found in they dug up something and found it. You understand? This came from the earth. And the earth shall help the woman. Read it again. Read on Revelations, 12 and 16 one more time.
Can. And the earth helped the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Right. So one of the floods was the Native Indians are not Hebrew Israelites. They mix with Chinese. They mix with this. They mix with that. They mix with the other. And boom, this stone come out of the earth that was carved up how many hundred years ago. They're so stupid, they read anything upside down and come to find out now that this is, turn it up right side up, this is ancient Hebrew. This is the real ancient Hebrew. This is Iba, Ibaria. The Native Indians are Hebrew Israelites. You understand? Mm-hmm. The Native Indians are Hebrew Israelites. You get the point? Like that is the earth swallowing up the flood from this dragon. You get the point? So Dead Sea Scrolls is very valid. It has credence. It gives validity to the King James. And there's more stuff that, you know, over time you're going to learn more and more things that you can that you realize came out of that helps prove who we are as a people.
Okay.
All right. You get it? You understand?
Yeah, come on.
All right. Any questions on it so far? Or are you good to go?
Yeah, come. The Native Indians in the land of Arsareth. That is one land, or that is it was other, because like the Caribs and the Arawaks in Trinidad, they are Native Indians too.
They are Taino Indians, right? They are Taino Indians. They would have came across here with Gad and Reuben, because they all came together. The 9.5 tribes all came together. So in that respect, they're all native to this land. Like I said in the class, Arsareth is the Americas, not just North America. It's an old name for America. But the Bible said they went to a land where no man dwelt. And at that time, this western side of the earth, there was man here. It was just animals, huge animals. That's why a lot of them bones is found, right? But that's it.
Okay.
Right, and they were here, and they've been here all the way up until now. And the white man did what he tried to do to us, which was erase their history. But their history is in the earth, and in the Bible.
Come on.
You understand? In the earth and in the Bible. All right. All right. So let's get back on the 12 tribes breakdown. Let's go back to Genesis 49. And like I said, God, I'm trying to have that King James, the history, because okay, it's from a couple different books. One is when Scotland was Jewish, or Jews in Scotland, something like that. What's the other one? Negro rulers of Scotland and the British Isles, I think, is one. And of course, yeah, nature knows no color line. There's a couple books that tell you about his mother's side. I think his mother was a Stuart, or Stuart, which comes from Swarth, and her lineage. And then his father's side, I believe his father's side is Douglas. And they were all Judites who lived in Europe, right? They were all Judites who lived in Europe. It tells you that in the book that they were all descended from Shem. They were famous from the tribe of Judah that lived in Europe and ruled in Europe. And that's his lineage, his ancestry. I believe his mother's side is the Tudor family. Stuart and Tudor is the mother, and King James side, his father's side is Douglas family. Even James itself, James is Latin for Jacob, so his name would be King Jacob. All right, but I'm gonna get the books and the references for you hopefully by Tuesday, and we could get a little bit better. All right.
And Slacker to the other Bibles too. The question.
Okay, what was the question about the other Bibles?
Right. Well, they had other Bibles before the King James. So
yeah.
My question.
Before and after. Go ahead.
All right. So my question was, were they the same translation from the Hebrew text that King James got?
Okay. You want to know about? Okay, I could tell you off the break. They weren't, because the King James is the closest translation to the Hebrew, right? As to which Bible in specific, you're gonna have to probably get a list of the ones you actually want to to hear about or to find. You get my point?
Okay, so in other words, the Bibles before King James and after King James, his Bible is still the most accurate.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still the most accurate translation, regardless. Right? It's the most accurate translation. It's always the most accurate translation. All right. All right. So let's get Genesis 49 if you're good to go. All right, Genesis 49. Last week we stopped at Simeon and Levi, correct?
Right. Come in.
All right. So let's go 49 and 8.
Come. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall raise. Thy hand shall.
Try one more time.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
All right. What is he saying? Who is Judah?
Judah is the ones in America, the tribes in America, the Negroes.
All right. Be specific with it. All right. The Negro living in America. The descendants of slaves, the Negroes in America, predominantly America. All right, because you have Judites in Belize, right? Belize is a lot of Belize is Judah. In Trinidad, you even have some Judites. There's a city, Williamsville in Trinidad. You ever heard of Williamsville? It's kind of
I heard about
south, but it's kind of central and south. Williamsville, the history on it is that they brought Judahites in on the plantation down there, and of course they were kept there for a while. All right, so you're gonna have that, and that's kind of the case with all the tribes. Like you could find a little bit of us in the lands of the other tribes. Even in the New Testament, when Christ's father brought him to the temple to be circumcised, who was in the temple cleaning? Appreciate that, brother. Tawada. Who was in the temple cleaning?
I can't recall that.
A sister by the name of Anna, and she was an Asherite, right? But Asher is one of the 9.5 tribes that left and went to Ashereth, since the Assyrian captivity. So that lets you know that there was still some remnant left by. You get the point? But not big enough to be a tribe, but a few was left by. You understand? So that's how it is. You go to Ephraim, you go to Puerto Rico, there's a lot of Benjamites there too. You go to Guyana, right, which is South America, which would be Asher, there's Benjamites in there. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So you would find us mixed in wherever whoever else is, but predominantly is, the tribe that's predominantly there, that's the tribe we are called by. Right?
Okay.
So Judah is the Negro in America, right? Read 8 again.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Mm-hmm.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
All right. What is that saying?
All right. Well, Judah, whom thou my brethren shall praise, meaning the other 11 tribes shall.
Okay, you skipping out. Do it line by line. All right.
Whom thy brethren shall praise, meaning the other brothers and the other tribes will look up to Judah.
Right.
They'll look up to him, like follow him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. That's evident in everything you see, right? From the style of the 12 tribes come from Judah. The clothes of the 12 tribes come from Judah for the most part, right? Today's urban wear comes from Judah. Even so much, I know you've seen dancehall and reggae music videos. Even not just in the videos, even stage performances. I know you'll look at Sting and the different reggae shows that's famous out of Jamaica, and there's brothers on there in full-out jackets in the tropical weather. But of course, that's what you see Judah wearing, so you wear it. You get the point? How many brothers you see come on stage and perform in just a regular t-shirt or a vest because it's hot? You don't see that. See brothers coming out there in the Timbs and the fitted hat and the huge jackets. You get the point? Because of course it's following after your bigger brother. You get the point?
Right.
Even that fight last night with Mayweather and McGregor. Like that fight was not, Mayweather, some dude from wherever, Detroit or wherever he grew up in, versus some devil from Ireland. That fight was the 12 tribes of Israel versus the white man, versus Edom, versus Esau. And the first came out red and hairy all over. That's that wild, half a homosexual white man that was in the ring last night. You understand? And of course, Mayweather, who is the tribe of Judah, everybody rallied. When Mayweather was fighting is Canelo, Oh, one of them brothers, one of them Issacharite brothers. He mocking Issachar, saying he could do whatever. You understand? He could get down and go wherever and do whatever. And at that time, of course, not Connell. Who's the brother? Is De La Hoya? One of them tribes. Where the tribes was behind the other brother and not behind Mayweather. But of course, when it comes to Mayweather versus the white man, everybody is backing and rallying behind him. Of course, you have the one or two who are looking for him to lose because they don't like his personality, but they don't understand that his personality is what makes him money. Right? In that boxing arena, nobody wants a boring boxer. That's why Muhammad Ali was so popular, because of his mouth. Right? Mayweather is popular because of his mouth, and that's what makes people pay big money, because most of the people want to see him lose. So he keep talking shit and being cocky and being a Judite, make people hate him. And now guess how much money he take home last night? Guess.
So like, I think it's 100 million.
Nah, you're wrong. Guess. How long was the fight last night? I think it was 36 minutes, 10 rounds. Right? Three minutes are wrong, so that's 30 minutes plus the breaks is around 34, 35, 36 minutes. How much money he take home last night?
I think it was lucky. I think it was like 500 million, wasn't it?
It was, well, he said 350 million. The rest probably went to McGregor and the staff and whatever. He take home $350 million last night. It's one fight, brother. I think he took home something like 300 million with Pacquiao. You understand? Think about all the other money he made before and all his endorsements and businesses and stuff like that. You understand? Everybody rallied behind that brother to beat this devil, because this was much more than two boxers. This had nothing to do with UFC and MMA. This was Trayvon Martin versus Zimmerman. This was Eric Garner versus Pantalino. You understand? This was Michael Brown versus Darren Wilson. That's what this was for us. You get the point? All right? Judah is who thy brethren shall praise. You understand? Thy hand shall be the neck of thine enemies. What are we talking about?
So like, thy hand shall be the neck of thy enemies, meaning there will always be a fight with the enemies.
Yes. Yes. Thy hand shall be the neck of thine enemies, meaning two things. You like to fight. Just like in a fight, you grab somebody up. And also you are this close to your enemy that your hand could be in thy neck. Like, because of slavery, just think the same thing that happened with the Haitians, where the Haitians was able to poison the French because they had them working close in with them. You understand? You had the slaves preparing your food, cleaning your babies, very close. So your hand is in his neck, so you're close to him. It's the same thing. You understand? Of all the 12 tribes, Judah is the one who the white man kept close to him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody else was kept afar off in bulk. Even the Spaniards, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French. But the white man kept Judah close to him. His hands is always in the neck of his enemies. And of course, his propensity to fight, right? Conflict is the way of life. You understand?
Mm.
All right, go ahead.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Right? And that's a prophecy talking about him ruling the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? The king will come from Judah. All right, keep going.
Verse 9, Judah is a lion whelp.
Lion's whelp.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down and crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, whom shall rouse him up?
All right. What is this talking about?
Salakio, a whelp meaning the lion's cry or yell.
Nah, look it up. Look it up if you ain't understand what a whelp is. Look it up quickly.
Salakia, a puppy.
Do lions have puppies?
No.
So what is it talking about? What does it say? What does the definition say that you're reading?
A whelp. It says a puppy, a cub, a boy or young man.
So what is it? What do you get from the definition?
The lion's children.
Exactly. But the male child.
Okay.
You understand?
Kind of what kind?
He is a lion's whelp. He is a young lion. Young lion, a cub. All right? And think about a young lion. What describe a young lion?
Salakia, energetic.
Energetic. Go ahead. What else?
Eager to attack, or playful.
Eager to attack. I like that definition. Energetic, eager to attack. All right? That is the tribe of Judah. Energetic, eager to attack. All right, so read the scripture one more time.
Con. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion and as an old man. Whom shall rouse him up?
Don't say man there.
And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
All right. So he's saying here, Judah is like a young lion, full of energy, full of power, ready to go at it. And that's the spirit of Judah, right? Everybody else look at Judah and wonder why. That's his spirit. You understand? Why he's this, why he's that. That is his spirit. He's the lion of the whole crew. You understand? And just look at every protest we've had, every riot, every rally. We ready to go. Just like a young lion, he crouched down low behind the grass and he's stalking the prey. But like an old lion, you're going up from the prey. What is that talking about? The present situation in America right now is ripe for separation. Right? It's ripe, it's ready. We need to separate. Everybody should take their millions. Floyd alone have $350 million. Him, Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, Denzel Washington. Think about all the stars, how much money they have. You think we cannot separate from this place? We can. We can, and we're ready to separate. But guess who comes calling? That old lion. Who's that old lion? singing Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton bringing 1,000 of his old lions down to DC tomorrow to beg the white man to love him more. So we ready to pounce. And then the old lion come and put that old lion spirit on everybody, and we just leave the prayer alone. We just going up from it. You get the point? Right? That's been the situation for Judah for however long. Right? Ready to go. Right there, ready. And then like an old lion. That's what he said, like an old lion. Not that he is an old lion, but he crouched down as a lion, like a young lion, like a cub. He ready to go, but as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? And he getting roused up now. I.S.U.P.K rousing him up. But you have that old lion spirit, which is like almost like our Uncle Tom. All right? That Al Sharpton spirit, which is to, we shall overcome, and go beg Trump to, drive more cars into your rallies. You understand? All right, keep going. Give me verse 10.
I can. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Right? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. What is that talking about?
That talking about leadership. The scepter, he will be the one, as you say, ruling the other tribes, or in charge. The scepter.
Right? And the lawgiver, meaning the king, will always come from a Judite. All right? King of Israel will always come from a Judite. All right? Since David, Saul was the only king they had that was not a Judite. And after Saul, every single king was Judah. You understand? Because of a family line, family lineage. All right? Keep going.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come.
Right? Until Shiloh comes. Shiloh is what they call the peaceable one. Until Shiloh come, until that peaceable one comes. Who is Yahushua? All right, go ahead.
Okay. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right? Unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Unto that peaceable one, who is Yahushua, who is the son of a Judite, the people is going to gather unto him, just like everybody gathered to watch Mayweather beat that devil last night. I don't know who the hell thought that devil was ever going to win. If at all the devil was going to win, we know it wasn't boxing. We know this had to do with money. You know what I mean? Put something in there, whether juice or something to weaken him. But if this is boxing, it's like, putting, a carpenter to run against Usain Bolt. We know who's going to win because this dude is not a boxer. You get the point? But of course, this fight is more to us than anything. And we gather together and it's so heavy. Like, we recognize the opportunity to have victory over this devil. And we all come together to take that victory. Like how people feel, I see how, all the posts online, the messages, the tweets going all day. I go on YouTube, everything coming up is, Conor McGregor, 10th round, Mayweather, this, that, the other. And black people definitely have some life into them. Life all the way into them now. And we feel fully alive as a people. We feel, power and strong and winning. We feel like we've had victory. Now, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, brother. Now, this is the sad reality of that feeling. Tomorrow, guess what we go back to? We go back to marching and begging. We go back to, Kaepernick kneeling for the flag. We go back to, police brutality. We go back to losing. But today we were winners. You understand? Today we were winners. Tomorrow we go back to losing. The white man wakes up a winner every single day. You understand? You see what black people felt last night and this morning and today? The white man wakes up like that every day. That's why he could take your life and don't give a damn. You understand? That's why he could lock you up and don't give a damn. Slam your some of our sisters to the floor. I saw a tape last week, brother. It took every, ounce of manhood in me to watch the whole tape, brother, about this sister in Texas. Who the white brother? The shit is disgusting and it's vile. White man pulled her over and said he smelled weed. Of course, she ain't got no weed in the car, and as far as I remember, weed's supposed to be legal right now. You know what I mean? But anyway, not saying that she should have had it, but goddamn, by his own laws, what is the problem? Put her in handcuffs. Bring her around the side of the car, brother. Call a female officer, some butch bulldogging dyke. Tell the sister to pull her pants down. They're going to do a cavity search. And the sister is like, listen, I ain't pulling my pants down out here. I ain't got no drawers on. Which is her damn business. That's her shit. Ain't no law, I ain't got no drawers on. And this old bulldogging dyke proceed to slam the sister face into the ground, brother. Let me see. I think I have the tape right here. Let's see if I can show you all it real quick.
So like, I don't. When I said dyke, what that?
Dyke is a derogatory term for lesbian.
Come.
Right? Dyke it's like the female version of faggot. Like how you say faggot is a homosexual, a gay dude. Dyke is a derogatory term for a lesbian. Brother, you all need to watch this tape. This is the sister here, brother. They're going to show you how white man is the goddamn devil. I mean, hold on. So this is the sister here, right? You all see her?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You see she in handcuffs, right? She's in handcuffs. This is one police officer here. Apparently they have the door open. This one right here is supposed to be female. They have her there. They're telling her, take her pants down. She's saying no. They slam her to the floor, brother. Let me pull it back, brother. You hear her head hit the car seat and the frame of the car and the floor. Listen. You hear that shit, brother? You hear that? Her head hit the damn car and then the floor, brother. They push her head up under the car. Pull her pants off. This is in Texas. That's why thank the Lord for that hurricane that came through there and harmed the white man and destroyed the white man for what he has been doing to us. Right? Take the sister pants off, brother. Push her legs back. She's on her stomach. They push her legs in a good night. I ain't gonna show you all the whole thing. I can't even watch it myself. I want you to see how they bent her feet up. She's on her stomach, all right? Push her legs in a good night. And look how awkward her feet is bent up and all that stuff, brother. Awkward. And they begin to cavity search this sister, push their hand all up in the sister vagina on the damn floor. On the damn floor, at the side of the damn road. Male officers there, one female officer, and male officers there. You get the point? The white man feels victorious every day and he violates us with his victory. You understand? So we come together one night to support a brother in sports and we feel victory. Imagine if we come together to serve the Lord as 12 tribes, as one solid family in brotherhood and sisterhood and obeying God's laws and with one common enemy. With all our problems and issues, we come together and see one common enemy, brother, the Lord will return faster than you can know it. And he will destroy this white man. You understand? He will destroy this white man and put him to death for everything he do. And you all better never forget. I'm probably go through this again on Tuesday class, Lord allow, if I get through to do it. But what the violations we go through on a daily basis, the Lord has to step in for us now. The Lord has to step in and kill this devil. And you better never ever forget and never let anybody talk you out of the white man not being the devil. He is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. He deserves every single form of death there is. Every horrible, horrible thing on the earth has to happen to him. You see what happened to that sister there? Like, how is we coming back from that? Now, you all didn't hear the first half of the tape. There's a brother there who I'm assuming is her man, but he's not. I don't think he's seeing what's going on. I think he's in the back of the cop car. What we see in his dash cam. How is, okay, now this tape is all over the world now, or, you know, on the internet. This sister gets fully violated down. That's rape, brother. If I am her husband, how are we moving forward from that? How do I look her in her face every single day? Imagine I'm driving to work or whatever and a cop pull behind. Imagine how much of a panic she's going to be in every single time she see a cop car. How can I carry on unless I do something to restore my manhood, to restore some form of dignity to myself and my woman? You understand? Like there's no other way but death for the white man by the hands of God for what he has done to us. And these 12 tribes, got one next week, we're going to finish off the 12 tribes. We're going to go through a little faster, but we're going to finish it off and move on. But y'all better understand that there's no letting this bastard off the hook. Don't let no preacher, don't let no minister, Farrakhan, none of them fools, don't let nobody, your auntie, your uncle, your own woman, brother, convince you that this devil is not the devil. That Esau is not the devil, the white man is not the devil. Don't let anybody convince you that there's mercy for him. There's only death, destruction, and bloodshed for this bastard for what he has done to us. And this is what we seen on tape, brother. Imagine the shit we've not seen on tape. Brother in Oklahoma did a video on his sister that was raped by the cop after he arrested her. He carried her to some hospital, empty ward, handcuffed her to a gurney, and rape her in front of another officer, brother. Come to find out this cop been raping sisters for, years, brother. When they do the research, he done raped 60-something women. As old as 60-something. Scores of women he done raped. Just arresting them in Oklahoma, black women. Forget about all the books with the history, 100 years of lynchings and all that stuff. Like, this devil had to pay, man. And anybody who telling you he does not should die with it. You understand? So with that, we're going to clip it there for tonight. It's 9 o'clock. All right, I don't get pissed off. I can't watch the video without, feeling to murder something or someone or multiple. All right, it's a very disturbing time we're in. We've always been in this time, but seeing it now is a bigger shock to you. And it's a message to all Israel. We had to come together, come in the I.S.U.P.K, come under this one banner. Unite under I.S.U.P.K like you're united under Mayweather. Hell. This nigga is bald-headed and would have sex with anything that looks good. He's in the world as could be, but he's still a brother. And he did what brothers do, which is put heathens to shame. And we applaud him for what he did. But at the same time, brother, we have to look at that as an example to come together in a bigger scale for something bigger and something longer. Or else this white man, he having the victory every day. He winning every day. All right? So we will continue next week. All right, Galawan?
All right.
All right. Shalom. You have a shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.